Hello, YouTube. It's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, Season 9, Episode 18. Love is actually complicated. So we're just going to get on into it and get on out of here. We have reached the regular season finale, and I'll preview the tell-all at the end of the video. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. First couple, well, okay, I just contradicted myself. We're gonna be in and out, but got a lot to talk about. So I'll try to keep it going. First couple, let's just get them out the way. Darcy and Georgie. Basically, Georgie wants to have kids. After the Bulgaria trip and talking to his sister, he now wants to have kids. And when he told Darcy that, Darcy starts crying and making a big fuss about it, telling him to go on, just go on without me, blah, 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 and everything. And he started yelling at her. He's like, you don't freaking listen. I'm trying to open up to you. You don't freaking listen, and everything. This is why I don't open up because of this and everything. And Georgie said that Darcy claims that Georgie didn't want kids at first, but we don't know what. And then of course his home trip made the big switch on him and stuff and everything. But if he wants to have kids, instead of crying and just throwing a tantrum like she did, be like, okay, look, Georgie, we talked about this plenty of times. With my age, I can't have any kids. It's just that simple. It's really high risk. I could lose my life, the baby, and everything. And we talked about this. I don't know why. I understand, like, you may have a little bit of baby fever right now and everything, and I get it, but it's the sad reality. I wish I could give you, if I could, I would definitely give you as many kids as you want, but physically I can't. She should have said it like that instead of just throwing her tantrums and stuff and everything. And she's just like, oh God, just go without me and everything. I could live by myself. I could do everything by myself. I'm like, girl, no, you can't, because you'll be with somebody else just next season. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad their scenes are done. I'm glad. I'm just glad I can't with Darcy anymore. And I wish, come to tell all, someone needs to call out Darcy on something. Every time Darcy's on the tell all, everybody always comes to her rescue and just bash the guy that she's with Jesse and Tom, to paint them how bad they are. But nobody has ever called out Darcy. Yes, she gets it on social media all the time and everything, but they don't care. They don't care about social media. They need to be called out in person. Someone needs to really call out Darcy like that. That is not her sister. That is not her husband or her kids or whatever. It needs to be an outsider. It needs to call out Darcy on her behavior. You know, we always come, like I said, we always come to her rescue all the time, but she needs to take accountability for her actions for once. That's just my opinion. So, I mean, I doubt anybody's gonna do that, because all the 90 days love Darcy. Be like, oh, it's okay, Darcy. Oh, you deserve better, Darcy. It's gonna be all of that and everything, but whatever. But anyway, that was Darcy and Georgie. Next couple I want to talk is Brandon and Julia. So Brandon and Julia, as we know, they revealed in last week's episode that she's pregnant. And she still has not had the baby yet. She has still not had the baby yet, because it's been a long pregnancy. At this point, she's already been like 5 months pregnant at the time and everything. Like, it's she still has not given birth yet. I mean, there was a rumor that she did, but she really hasn't. We would have known by now. Basically, she has not given birth yet. But anyway, so their storyline in this episode is just they're not going to tell Betty and Ron, because she's just over it with Betty and everything. They're all excited and everything, just preparing for it. They're trying to sell some things and agree to disagree on some things. They're even trying to buy a new house, a bigger house, so when the baby comes, they have the space for it and stuff. And there was a bike that Brandon has that he didn't want to sell, but it was whatever. But in this episode, they met up with their friends, and they actually told their friends first who they want these friends to be the godparents of Brandon and Julia's baby and stuff and everything. And they were telling them that we want you guys to be the godparents. They're happy and they were honored to. And then Julia says, you guys are the first people we told. We haven't told the parents yet. And everybody's influencing Julia, like, you need to tell Betty and Ron, basically. Like, we know Betty could be a bit much, but like, you're fine. You're in your second trimester now, and you can't keep hiding this much longer. And of course, Brandon's a big advocate for that. I'm like, we need to tell them, and like, if we tell them, who knows, they could possibly help our tr- fund our new house and everything. So Julia made a shocking revolution, saying that on the phone a few weeks ago, like when they before Europe or before after, like when they got back from Europe, they had a phone conversation, and Julia said that she's never returning over to that farm again, basically, because she's just over it with Betty. And she's just like, I don't want Betty like overstepping and telling me how to do my pregnancy, how to raise my kid, this, and that. I don't want Betty and this, and that. And throughout the season, I was on Julia's side. I was on Julia's side throughout the season on how, especially when her parents came in from Russia, and how Brandon's parents surprised them at the house and stuff without their notice and stuff and everything. I was on Julia's side with that. But, after that, it just went downhill. I feel like Julia has just been completely disrespectful towards Brandon's parents. She is putting a wedge between them and Brandon. She did say in this episode, Brandon can go with them whenever he wants and everything. She's not going to stop that. But, she's done with them. And I would understand that if they weren't having a baby. The fact that they're having a baby, like, and your parents are in Russia, they need to be involved. You're gonna need a babysitter at times, and this is their grandchild. Like, anybody who has grandkids are gonna be like, nobody's gonna stop me from seeing my grandkids. Nobody. I don't care who you are. Nobody's gonna stop me from seeing my grandkids and stuff and everything. So Julia, I understand, like, she don't need the stress from Betty. I understand Betty is as much she is. I agree with that. But at the same time, she's still gonna be grandma, and you're gonna need their help. And you guys proven that you guys are not responsible for your finances, because you wanted to blow a whole trip to Europe and everything. You got pregnant on your baby was conceived on your little trip to Europe and stuff and everything. So yeah, I just don't. I don't like I don't like how disrespectful Julia has been and stuff and everything. And maybe they'll tell them at the tell-all. At this point, Julia posted a picture of what she was wearing for the tell-all on Instagram. She said she was 6 months pregnant at that time, and I guess they're gonna possibly tell them at the tell-all. But she's done with Betty and Ron, and that's sad. That is really sad and everything. So, but she needs to be, and Julia also needs to be careful who she burns her bridges with, because God forbid if something bad happens and everything, who you gonna call? Do you think you're gonna handle it all by yourself? You think you're smart enough? I don't think so. So I'm kind of tired of Julia's disrespect out of this whole situation. She really does not respect Brandon. She doesn't respect his parents and everything. So when the baby is born, yeah, we'll see how independent she can be without any help. Just saying. So yeah, that was Brandon and Julia. Next couple I want to talk is Gina, Jasmine, and Matt. So we'll start with Gina. So Gina, as we know, he's still out for revenge. He wants to basically wait until immigration fraud papers go through to prove that his marriage was a fraud and trying to get Jasmine deported. We all know that ain't happening, Gino. So we seen Gino on a dating app and trying to get himself back up there. Then he gets a call from Uncle Marco saying that Jasmine had the baby. So he checked social media and saw that Jasmine had the baby and stuff and everything. Cool. So then we seen Gino go out and try to get a new wardrobe. He met up with this dude that was gonna help him get a new style and stuff. He tried on some new clothes and everything. Tried to feel free. Try to like feel like he could get back in this groove of things of dating and stuff and everything. And he told the guy that was helping him um, that he just got that he's on the verge of getting divorced and everything, and that he had a toxic relationship for 5 years and this and that. And the guy's just like, okay, I'm sorry that happened to you, so let's just do this. And the guy wasn't phased about his story whatsoever. So honestly, and we're all guilty of doing things like that, but I wouldn't be going and telling random people my business like that. Just saying. I ain't gonna go to the store and just tell somebody my random business, because one, they don't give a crap, and two, you got to be really careful who you tell people things. Just saying. So that's what Gina did. So now we see Jasmine and Matt. And, baby Matilda at this point was 2 months old. Man, they filmed so. Dang, how do at the beginning of the Happily Ever After, I said we're gonna have like 20 episodes. It's been 20 weeks, so we're only on episode 18, but at least that's the regular season finale and stuff and everything. I said 18 weeks ago when this season started that it was gonna be a long season, and it's not as long as last year. Last year was was a little bit longer than this, but I just wonder, how long did they film? They filmed like for months in 2024 and 2025 for this season, especially Gino and Jasmine. Like we went from Gino and Natalie. Remember Natalie at the beginning of the season? Um, we went from like and Gino, like Gino throwing Jasmine stuff on the curb and everything, and then to the big fight to the fight at the bar and stuff with Natalie and Jasmine, and then to Jasmine getting pregnant and then moving to Florida and stuff and everything. Like we went, so much has happened in these 18 weeks. I'm just saying. But anyway, so and then the baby was born, and now it's been 2 months since the baby was born from last week. So baby Matilda and Matt are gonna finally meet Matt's mother and Matt's sister. Now Matt's family is really religious, and like they're really like no sex before marriage. They're really religious, like God is first and everything. Matt said that he finally has told his mom and sister about Jasmine and that they had a baby and everything. But his dumb self told them that he and Jasmine were engaged and stuff. And they're all happy and stuff. And Jasmine's like, why are you lying to them? Like, I don't like doing all this lying, basically. So they go and meet Matt's mom and Matt's sister, and they were really, really nice. They welcomed Jasmine with open arms and everything. Like I don't like him having a baby out of wedlock, but it's okay. Like God will be the judge of that and everything. But they really welcomed Jasmine, and they let Jasmine cook for them and stuff and everything and whatnot and everything. Jasmine said that she's never really had in-laws. She said all her other in-laws had passed away, like, and everything. So she's never really had in-laws. So this is like new for her and everything. And so part of baby Matilda's middle name it started with a Q, Matt's mom's name. So she said that she wanted to honor Matt's mom and baby Matilda's name and stuff and everything. So, they started talking some religious stuff and everything. And then Jasmine asked Matt, I'm like, Matt, you have to tell your mom the truth. Tell your mom the truth, basically. So Matt was like, okay, mom and sister, I lied. Me and Jasmine are not engaged. Jasmine is actually still legally married to somebody else. And they're like, okay. And then we had to explain the Gino situation. Like, look, I married somebody else. It didn't work out. I'm still legally married. And the fact that I had a baby with Matt while I'm still married to my husband legally is legally the father until we get the divorce and get the blood test done and everything. And so he has legal rights to Matilda and everything. And the mom and the sister were like really shocked about that, and they were like really upset. The sister was like, "Y'all didn't." And the mom was like, "Y'all didn't really have to lie about that, basically." And the mom started crying. She's like, "I don't want my kids and my grandkids to go to hell, basically, and everything." Like, well, this is a lot and everything. And the sister like calmed the mom down. She was like, it's their life and everything. Like, and you're right, God will be the judge of that and everything. But Matt's mom was just really disappointed because, like I said, they're really religious, and we and they kept on saying the whole time, I never expected Matt to have a baby and to settle down with somebody and everything. So so Jasmine was a little upset about that with the line and stuff. But I'm kind of glad that Jasmine did not tell them that this was the open marriage and how they met at the gym. They didn't say that. And Jasmine also didn't say that she has other kids too. So just saying. But that's a topic for another day, basically. But you know, yeah. Jasmine, she's frustrated how Matt is doing all of this, which is understandable, and how he likes to goof off and everything. But she likes to justify. Like I always said that she likes to justify her actions a lot. So she wants Matt to be perfect, but she ain't perfect herself and everything. And when I preview the tell all, we're gonna it's gonna be proven. So after that conversation, Matt, he was like, they went like on their patio and had a conversation, and saying Matt says that how much he loves baby Matilda and he loves Jasmine, this and that and everything, and he like broke off like a piece of string or whatever, and proposed to Jasmine and say, with this string, Mama, would you marry me? Jasmine starts crying and she's like, I don't have an answer right now. I can't say no or yes right now and everything. And Matt was really disappointed. He was like, man, I got to work for this, man. Gino, she said yes to Gino right away, and I got to work for this, man. And that's that arrogancy, but yeah, here's another thing I didn't notice. Yes, obviously Jasmine and Matt were screwing around and had a baby, but they have never showed Jasmine and Matt kiss. They never showed Jasmine and Matt kiss. They never showed them holding hands, kissing, and being affectionate on camera and everything. I don't know why that is. I've yet to see a connection with Jasmine and Matt. We just know that they're behind the scenes screwing around and making babies. But on camera, I have not seen them once hold hands. I think she might have hugged once, basically, but I never seen them kiss. Never seen them kiss. So I don't know. But yeah, that was Jasmine and Matt and Gino. Last couples we're going to talk is the triple threat couples. Well, we only had a double team in this episode. We only had Elizabeth and Andre and Jovi and Yara. So Elizabeth and Andre and Jovi and Yara are still on their little ski trip that needs to end. And they started out sitting by a fireplace making s'mores and stuff and everything. Jovi did not know how to make a s'more. He was toasting the graham crackers and the chocolate on the fire when you're only supposed to toast the marshmallows, dummy, and everything. Yara doesn't even know how to say the word s'more. She's saying smokes, and Jovi had to say it's two different things and everything, and whatever. So then, after they're making the s'mores, Andre, at first when I saw the preview, I'm thinking maybe Andre was people are coming at Andre for no reason, but Andre started something. He was like, "It's nice not having those idiots nearby." Basic talking about Lauren and Alexi and everything. And Jovi and Yara were like, "Oh, hold up, hold up, hold up. Those are good. They are good people. Y'all should give them a chance. They're not as bad as y'all think and everything." And then that just started a whole big fight because Andre starts being typical Andre, saying, y'all need to pick a side. Y'all playing a double game over here with these fools and everything." And Yara's like, why do we have to pick a sides? We like you and like them and stuff and everything. And Elizabeth told Yara, she's like, "Look, Yara, I had told you something in confidence about Lauren and everything, and you told her, so how do, if we could be friends, how do I know you're not going to get tell Lauren that you're, and since you're in Miami and everything?" And Yara's like, when I said something to Lauren, I actually told Jovi. I didn't know Jovi was going to tell Lauren what you said and everything. And Elizabeth's like, "Well, Jovi's a blabbermouth." So he was going to do that basically. And so and so then Andre was just like, "Oh, wait, hold up. I just remembered something. Didn't you call your wife ugly and everything?" And Yara's like, "Yeah, I agree with you. We all have our crap that we all need to work on." But she was like, "But it seems like you two, Elizabeth and Andre, like to fight and everything. You guys are toxic basically." And then Andre was like, "Well, who's the real DICK? Like, not me. Alex is the DICK, and you're DICK to your wife and everything." And then Jovi was just like, "Look, Andre, like, it seems like everywhere you go, problems fall and everything. You went to the housewarming party, started crap and everything. Elizabeth came to that rescue. It's like, well, her friend attacked him." And they were like, "Yeah, we agree that she needs a better friend, but still, like, still." And then you're coming after us and everything, and then Elizabeth's family and stuff and everything. And then Elizabeth got mad at that. She was like, "Joey, listen, look, my husband did not come here on a chip on the shoulder. My family had issues with him the moment he got here and stuff and everything. And we had to distance ourselves from our family because of that. You only have surface level information and everything. And you're putting the blame on us and everything when you started this." And he was like, "I didn't start nothing. You did. You went to my room and started bashing Lauren and stuff." And she was like, "I did not bash Lauren. I was just informing Yara just to be careful on certain things or whatever." And so and then Andre is just like, "Well, you guys need to pick a side." And Yara's like, "We're not picking sides." And he's like, "Let's go, babe," and everything. And he gets up. He gets up, and him and Yara are going back. Andre and Yara are going back and forth. And he's like, "Why don't you sit down and be a man? Are you sniffing that stuff?" Basically, I was cracking up when she said, "Are you sniffing glue or something?" "What's wrong with you? Sit down and be a man and talk about this and everything." She's like, "Y'all play the double games here, but and whatnot and everything. And you're the instigator." And Andre was calling Jovi an instigator. I'm like, "I'm the instigator. You're the instigator," basically, and stuff. It was just back and forth. And then finally, Andre and Elizabeth just left. And then Elizabeth said, "Baka bye," or something in Romanian, Russian, Ukrainian, whatever. And basically it meant bye, BITCH, and everything. So everybody's doing the he said, she said. Elizabeth and Andre feel like Jovi and Yara are the root of the problems, but Jovi and Yara feel like Elizabeth and Andre are the root of the problems. After analyzing this and being back and forth with this, I mean, all of them are messed up. I feel like all of them got problems. But after watching this episode, I feel like the real root of the problem, I feel like I do feel like Elizabeth and Andre are the root of the problem, but I feel like Yara is really fake because Yara is really two-faced because she wants everybody to get along great, but she's the one who be talking about people and like stirring the pot too, like if somebody says something or whatever. And so I think that Yara and Elizabeth and Andre. Jovi just jumps in when he has to, and Lauren and say Alexi's like really just stays out of it. I mean, but he'll defend his wife and everything, and he just tries to let it go and tries to be peacemaker. But sometimes Lauren can be a bit much too. But what I analyze, I think Yara is actually really a fake and two-faced and everything. And I think that, she's smiling she's smiling in her face, but then she's going back and talking crap. And then of course, Elizabeth and Andre, they love the toxicity. We all know that. So yeah, I think it's them three who are the root of the problem. So yeah, so yeah, that was basically it. And that's it. We have reached the end of the regular season of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 9. Now, let's preview this tell all. We're going to have a 4-part tell all, by the way. And yes, Sean Robinson will be back, thank God. I was I was a little worried after the Hunt for Love tell all, but Sean Robinson will be back. Looks like we will have a tell all, no limits again, like we have for the last 2 Happily Ever Afters. They're going to be in the house again. Looks like Karen and Guillermo are going to try to spice things up. We'll see Julia and Brandon try to tell Betty and Ron that they're pregnant. Darcy and Georgie will have their little dumb moments and stuff. And then, but here's 2 things that I was kind of surprised to see in the preview. There's going to be a part where we see Jasmine and Gino have a conversation, and Jasmine saying that I would never have loved anybody more than I love you, Gino. And I never wanted to really be with Matt ever. And as she's saying that she never wanted to be with Matt ever, he's lurking behind her and hearing the conversation. So there she goes again, just being just justifying her weird actions and stuff and everything. So that's going to be it. And then it looks like Matt probably had possibly even cheated on Jasmine. So, and she's going to confront him about that. And we see Matt just say, I do some stupid crap sometimes. Oh, dude, that dude's an idiot. I'm sorry. So there's that. And then here's the one I'm kind of waiting to see. There's gonna be we seen in the preview that Andre and Jovi are having a conversation. I guess like Jovi blocked them all and everything. Andre's calling him out, and then Andre called him the B word. And then Jovi's like, "Are you gonna call me that?" And this, like, snaps like a drink out of his hand, and then they're like throwing drinks at each other and everything, possibly gonna be getting into a fist fight and stuff. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that. And then in studio, Lauren and Elizabeth are going to go at it, like, and everything. And Lauren's going to be screaming. She's like, "You opened your mouth, shut up," and everything. We're going to be seeing that and stuff and everything. So it's going to be a lot. So I can't wait to cover it. But yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I can't wait to cover this tell-all. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll be back on tomorrow to recap 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way. And we're about a month away. We should be getting a trailer this week. 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 days, will be returning. Hopefully the trailer will come out here shortly. Come out this week. When it comes out, I'll do a video to preview the new couples and stuff and everything. So, but until then, I'll be back on tomorrow to do The Other Way, and later for Married at First Sight. So thank you guys for watching again. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all again soon. Bye, y'all.